Alrighty, folks, good morning. It is a lovely Friday morning. We are here with another weekly video for Back to Divinity. I have my coffee in hand, completely ready for today's topic. I'm super excited. This is a difficult topic, however, a really pivotal one in one's spiritual journey. So when Back to Divinity first launched in September, we spent a lot of time sort of talking about healing our own wounds and thinking about how mirrored relationships are calling for us to think about what are the ways in which we may be self-sabotaging. What are maybe some patterns and mindsets and things of that sort that we're still working through as a result of how we were raised or some of our past experiences and things of that sort. So today we're going to be talking about shadow work. Shadow work is very important in your journey to understanding yourself, your inner core, and thinking about the ways in which you can reprogram how we are approaching our dynamics, our relationships, our work, our creativity, and all of the above, right? So shadow work. Super excited to talk about this, especially as the last couple of videos we've talked about North Node entering Pisces and the Chinese year of the Zodiac being the snake and us entering the year 9 and how all of these things all together are really just getting us to face some of our subconscious thoughts, right? Face some of those shadows and those wounds and insecurities that are still sitting within us that at this point is just self-sabotaging our forward movement. And so shadow work is what is going to be called on us a lot actually this year as we are finishing and closing cycles out. Again, we are graduating this year. So that being said, there is a lot of revisiting that is occurring at this time. And as we are revisiting, that can bring up, pain and suffering and traumas and things of that sort and those feelings up to the surface. But this is a great thing. As much as it is hard to face these things, it is a great thing that we are being called to face these things, right? Because if we do want to enter our new beginnings, we want that to be a fresh start. And we don't want our past scars and wounds to get in the way of that new seed that is being sprouted, right? So let's talk about it. Shadow work. It is as it sounds, right? You are literally working through your shadows. You are seeing the root of the problem and thinking about where that stems from. And working through rewiring or reprogramming the ways in which you are using that now as either something that is victimizing you or something that is empowering you. And oftentimes our shadows end up victimizing us without us realizing that that is what's happening. Because at the end of the day, your shadow is trying to protect you. That is what your shadow is doing. So we shouldn't be mad at our shadows. We shouldn't disgrace our shadows. We shouldn't shame ourselves for our shadows, because at the end of the day, our shadows came through as a form of protection, as a form of guarding ourselves, right? When we were hurt as a child or when we were hurt as a teen or things of that sort, that inner child, that inner teen built up certain walls, right? And certain guards as a way to protect ourselves. However, these walls and these things are no longer protecting us anymore. Instead, they are blocking us from going to where we want to go or sprouting in the ways in which we want to sprout. And so you really want to take this time to think about, my shadows are no longer protecting me and helping me. I am going to thank them for the work that they did while they protected me, right? I'm going to show that compassion to myself. I won't, shame myself for living through my shadows, right? However, now that I am aware, now that it is brought up to the conscious, right, level, the ways in which my shadows have been driving the boat, right? Now it's a time for that to be reprogrammed and rewired. Okay, so you say thank you to your shadow, you get to the root of it, and you reprogram it and you rewire it, and you think about how you're going to now do things differently because you no longer need that form of protection. You no longer need that guard, right? From a place of fear. So facing subconscious feelings, traumas, and pains that have resulted in wounded-based mindsets, right? So your wounded-based mindsets, patterns, behaviors, the way that in which you perceive the world around you and ways in which you approach the world around you, right? Those are all of the things that need to be addressed, right? What are the ways in which my past relationship is impacting the way that I view love now? Right? What are the ways in which my past traumatic experience with work is now impacting the way that I view work now, right? What is it that, how is it that, my traumas related to how I grew up is now impacting the ways in which I'm approaching my day-to-day now, right? How is it that my relationship to finances is now impacting the ways in which I approach finances now, right? And so those are a lot of the things that you want to be thinking about. All areas of, right? Family, love, work, money, career, finances, right? The ways in which you approach your day-to-day routine, your health, your physical health, the things that you're consuming on a day-to-day, right? These are all connected. Everything is connected, right? And now is the time to really think about how is it that the things that I'm doing are being informed by my wounds rather than informed by the transmutation of those wounds, right? And so again, transmuting, we've talked about this, turning that pain into power, right? Thinking about, right, how did that experience not victimize me, but how has it empowered me now? How has it gave me a gift? How has it strengthened something within me, right? The ways in which I think or approach dynamics and relationships, right? How is it that now actually healthy for me, rather than thinking about how it tore me down or how it tore me apart or how it really broke my heart or how it really got me to my lowest point, right? Not viewing it like that, but rather viewing it as in, how did that empower me, right? How did that give me a skill set that I now can use for my utmost growth and potential, right? How is it that we can change, right? How we're viewing these things, right? Because victimizing ourselves is just going to keep us stuck in that cycle of pain and suffering, right? But once we switch that narrative, right, and we think about the ways in which it's actually empowered us now, it becomes so helpful for us and our utmost growth and reaching our highest potential, right? Connecting further with our higher selves. Intentionality is the second step, right? Because now we're aware there's an issue. Now we're facing it. But now we need to be intentional about doing that reprogramming, right? Being intentional about thinking about the way in which, wow, maybe these walls aren't helping me. And now I need to break it down, right? Wow, maybe the ways in which I think about this, it's just not benefiting me anymore. How can I now get rid of that, break it apart, and rebuild a new foundation on top of it, right? And so there's a big energy of crumbling, right? With the snake, that shedding of the old skin. We're crumbling those thought patterns, those mindsets, and those behaviors that are just no longer connecting to a form of empowerment, right? It was just further victimizing ourselves, right? We were just seeking that comfort, right? And now it's asking us to step out of our comfort zones, face the uncomfortable, face the unknown. It is going to be okay. Right? I did mention earlier, right, that through this process, there could be a lot of shame, right? Damn, like, did I really say that? Or did I really do that? Or did I really self-sabotage like that for a second? Right? It is okay. You did it because you were working with your shadows. Your shadows are just trying to protect you. They said, "Oh, triggered, we're triggered." They're now woken up and the shadows are like, we need to protect her, right? And that is okay, right? Your shadows are working with you. Do not shame your inner demons and shadows, because at the end of the day, again, they were just helping you in the ways in which they thought they could help. But now we know better, right? Now we are aware. Now we are being called to be intentional about changing the ways in which the shadows are working with you, right? Now we want to work with them and realize, you know what? Thank you, shadows, for the work that you did. Thank you, shadows, for protecting me. Thank you, shadows, for stepping up when I couldn't, right? When I felt like I couldn't. Thank you. But now I no longer need that form of protection because I'm okay, right? Because I'm safe, because I'm secure, because I'm well, right? Because all is well. And there's no need to have that extra worry because I will be okay. And once you start to get out of that fight or flight mentality, it's a lot easier for you to reprogram and rewire your brain, right? And that's part of the work that's when shadow work is occurring, right? But grace and compassion to yourself is super pivotal, because shaming yourself is just another shadow, right? It's very important too that you remember that this is a journey, right? Shadow work is something that I've been doing for the past 4 years, right? And in conscious awareness and consciously being intentional about it. I've been doing that for the past 4 years. Sometimes we do shadow work without even realizing that that's what we're doing. However, now that a lot of us are becoming more aware, right, and realizing that we do have a lot more control than we think, this is now becoming a form of empowerment. And now that we have that level of empowerment, it becomes a lot easier to transmute that pain and that suffering into those powers, those skill sets, and stronger mindsets, right? So again, it is a journey. It does not happen overnight. You do not get rid of your shadows overnight. You do not get rid of your shadows in even just a week, right? It takes time. It takes time to start planting the seeds. It takes time to rewire your mind. It takes time to reprogram the ways in which you approach your day to day, especially, right? That is going to take time. But this is the perfect year. The energies are literally here to help you do that, or to help get rid of those layers that are just no longer helping and supporting you, right? It's lightening the load. So allow yourself to be lightened, right? Allow yourself to be enlightened and keep pushing forward and pushing through those tough feelings and those tough experiences, because ultimately it will allow for you to blossom in ways in which you probably didn't even know were possible. Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much for listening to today's video. There's a lot of new things that are coming out. You are also going to notice today that I will be launching now, offering astrological readings. I've been doing astrology readings for people for free for the past 4 years of my life as I've self-taught in astrology. But it is something that I'm super passionate about and something that I literally talk about every single day. It informs a lot of my decision making on a day-to-day basis, rather confirms a lot of my decision making on a day-to-day basis. And I am very excited to share this gift with you. I want you all to all about your connection and your oneness with the universe, right? One of our core beliefs is that oneness with everything around us and the universe. And that being said, the stars are here to send us a message and we can listen to the stars. And now I have learned how to communicate with them and how to understand them. And I want to share that with you all. And so that being said, I'll be offering astrology readings. I will be launching the website today and we can go ahead and go book a reading. And there are about 4 different types of readings that you can choose from on a general scale. And we can get more specific and you will learn it as you read it and as you follow it. But yes, please, if you are interested in understanding how any particular transit is affecting you, or how if you have a birthday coming up and you're about to hit your solar return, how the year ahead is going to look for you, or you just want to understand your synastry, learn about how you impact one another in a dynamic or your compatibility, right? These are in detailed readings in which I will be now offering as a service that I'm super excited for. And there may be a Valentine's Day sale for the synastry reading, so stay tuned. Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much, and look out for that launch. Thank you. Excited to be with you all next week. Please follow, share with other people because we can all benefit from learning about these topics as we go through our soul journey. Alrighty, folks. Bye.